Hi, my name is Laurie Rupert Engel, and this is my introduction to my first observation video. I chose option number 1, found in Standard 2. This was for me to go and observe a colleague's classroom looking through the lens of learning differences, multicultural awareness, gender sensitivity, and ethnic appreciation. The video that you're going to see is from a math classroom. I chose this classroom because it is a co-teach classroom. The teacher of record in the classroom, I spoke with her. The majority of the students are coded as SPED 504, ESL, failure, at risk of failure, or they have behavior intervention plans. And this is one of the main reasons why I chose to go into this classroom. I felt like this would be a great opportunity to really look at how other teachers deal with differences in their classrooms with both gender, learning disabilities, or learning differences, and also look at different ethnic different ways that teachers deal with different ethnicities in different cultures. The class itself is predominantly African American was the makeup, and predominantly male was the gender makeup. When I was there, the classroom co-teacher that is typically in the classroom every day with the teacher of record was actually absent. And I found this out when I went to do the observation, but I decided to go ahead and do the observation just in case, because I wanted to see how the teacher of record deals with the absence of her co-teacher. The teacher of record is a veteran at my school. She's been here for 10 years, and this classroom that she was in, she's been doing a co-teach class now for 3 years. The class that I went to, they were learning about slope, and I'm an English teacher, so I was actually learning right along with the kids. Some of the things that I noticed when I was in the classroom was that a lot of the students really did not understand the material that the teacher was discussing with them. This was a continuation of a lesson that had happened the day before. A lot of the students did seem to remember some of the things that had happened. However, a lot of those students seemed to struggle a lot with the concepts. The teacher, in order to deal with this and in order to deal with the difference in learning styles, the teacher chose to, as she called it, refuse to let anyone not participate, which I thought was a great idea. She had all of the students stand up, and what she did was as they were working on their practice question, she would go around the room and the students would have to answer the question. She talked about why students answered the question the way they did, and I noticed that she specifically targeted certain students that seemed to have the most trouble with the activity. She's been with her students now for over a month, so she knows which students are going to have problems, and so she targets those students in order to make sure that they understand the concepts that she's teaching. I thought that was a great tool to make sure that all learners are learning and not just the select few who understand the concept and are willing to share their answers with the rest of the class. Another thing that I noticed that she did was she went to different groups in the room. Each table was there were tables of 5. Groups were divided ethnically by gender, and so the tables were a mixed group of people. And one of the things that she did do was, I noticed that when she went individually asking students why they chose answers that they did, she went to the individual tables and she made sure that she was calling on all of the kids, not just some of them. She called on, the same amount of boys that she did girls. She called on different groups of people. So she wasn't just targeting one area of the room or one group of people. The other thing that I liked that she did was she would, as they were working on individual practice, she went to the different groups and talked individually to some of those students who were still not grasping the concept, but that maybe were too shy to really talk about it in class. I did notice her specifically talking to at least 2 to 3 different people. She talked to one person more than once, just to make sure that they were grasping the concepts. And so that one-on-one individual attention also helped with those students. Even though the co-teacher wasn't there, and there were some discipline issues within the class because the co-teacher wasn't there and there was an observer in the room, distracting the students. Even though that was happening, she was really good at controlling the situation, making sure that the students understood, her, where she stood, having very strict and ideas in place of what was allowable and what was not allowable for when it comes to discipline. Also, lots of redirection and lots of reminders to stay on task throughout the course period. There are gaps in the video because I did stop the video when the students were individually working and there was nothing going on in the classroom. One of the things that I thought was very interesting about this project was that it's difficult as an administrator to sit there, especially if you tend to want to interact or the children want to interact with you. It's difficult to do that because you don't want to disrupt the classroom. And so I felt like I was trying very hard not to disrupt the classroom because a lot of the students in there are my students as well, and so they wanted to talk to me. Anyway, that's all that I have for this introduction. You can see the rest of my information in my reflection. Thank you, and here are the videos.